Well, that was a bloody good game of football, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Manchester United 3, Newcastle 2, and there's a lot of fans out here that are mixed emotions with how the season's gone, but it is a great way to end the season with a home victory. Erik ten Hag's not farewell speech, but his end of season speech in front of the crowd got a few cheers, got a few boos. There's still a lot of mixed opinions on Erik ten Hag and his future at Manchester United, which is going to be probably one of the biggest talking points of the summer. Will he stay? Will he go? It's completely unknown so far, but we've got 2 games left against Brighton and City in the FA Cup final. But we obviously need to talk about today's game because it was just different. I saw players running more. I saw a controlled midfield. For once, we didn't lose the midfield battle, and especially how physical Newcastle can be with the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Longstaff, Hojlund. They do offer a lot of threats, especially in that midfield. They're a very physical side, and they do take the game by the scruff of the neck majority of the time by winning games due to their physicality. And United were just all over them. We had a midfielder playing at centre half. We had at least 3 or 4 midfielders in the actual midfield itself, and we had Bruno Fernandes up front as well. It was brilliant, and we controlled the game, which is something we haven't seen recently. You know, it was a tough game against Arsenal in our most recent game. We got battered off Crystal Palace, so it was good to come and watch United tonight and see us actually put up a good performance for our final game at Old Trafford of the season. But we've just got to talk about something, and I've criticised him a few times on this channel, and I was wrong about Amad Diallo. In 2 games, he's already proved me wrong, and you could say that he's only playing good, and it's the consistency which is where United have fallen short this season, and I agree on that. But Amad has shown me something in his handful of games that we've seen him play this season. The FA Cup semi-final against Liverpool. Obviously, we had the game against Arsenal, our most recent game, and as well tonight. I mean, what a hit that was for his goal. It was absolutely brilliant, and that cold celebration you saw between Mainu, Garnacho and Amad, they are the future, and I definitely am going to be interested to seeing how Erik ten Hag or the possible new manager implements Amad next season, because just like Amrabat as well, it's surprising, and seeing how they've played in their most recent games, it's surprising why they haven't had more game time. I know Amad's had his fair share of injuries at times at the start of the season, but post probably January, February, when we had an injury crisis, Amad has been available, and ten Hag hasn't utilised him, just like Amrabat as well, especially during the injury crisis. You could probably even argue that's why ten Hag, and we've had so many injuries, because ten Hag has ran these players into the ground because of our lack of options. But this is why you've got a squad. You utilise your squad, and I'm a fan, and I'll admit when I'm wrong, but Amad does look very fucking good, and so does Amrabat, and it is great to see how they've been playing, and they've definitely been a difference in our last 2 games, and they definitely have to play against Brighton at weekend. They definitely have to play against City in the final. So let's see how it goes. It was great to see as well Lisandro Martinez come back, obviously getting a bit of a cameo, a couple, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was. It was great to see the Butcher back, as well as Marcus Rashford. You know, he's another heavy talking point of this season. He's had a lot of critics. I've been one of them, but I've said it as well. It will be a mistake selling Marcus Rashford. Yeah, he's on massive wages, but I personally believe Rashford is a very up and down player. Rashford's biggest issue is that consistency, but no one can ever doubt his quality, because we all know the famous quote that class is permanent and perform is temporary. That is what Marcus Rashford is, and it's just getting that consistency out of him. And last season for me, he signed a new contract, so I don't think he'll be going anytime soon anyway. And as well, Bruno Fernandes, great to see him back. He played 80 minutes, and it was a great performance. I am a bit concerned though, he was holding his hamstring a few times in the match, so hopefully he is alright, and maybe rotate him against Brighton, maybe take him off a bit earlier, or bring him on as a sub and start Eriksen for 45 to 50 minutes, whatever ten Hag does decide to do. But we've still got to be careful with these players. But all of a sudden, we look like a team with options. We look like a team that can take the game by the scruff of the neck. And it was a confusing game, because the fact that it ended 3-2 is a surprising result, because United completely controlled the game in my opinion. Newcastle had a few moments where they could have won the game at the same time. It was a game where could have been 5-5, just like it reminded me of the Coventry game or the Chelsea game in the Premier League. You know, these are the games that United have lost points on, or lost out to, or have right squeaky bum time and really cause a lot of panic and stress for the fans. So I was glad that we could actually see out a victory. You know, when that second goal went in, you just knew that Newcastle were going to go for it. But we've also got to talk about Rasmus Hojlund. 15 goals this season, and for a young striker, what is he, 20, 21 years old, to be Man United's main striker, I think that's a pretty good debut season. A lot of people were comparing him to the likes of Haaland at the start of the season, but I think that's completely unfair. Erling Haaland's going to win a Ballon d'Or at some point in his career. I'm not saying Rasmus Hojlund can't, but he's not going to win it anytime soon. But I still think Rasmus Hojlund has got limitless potential, and it's just unlocking that. And today, coming off the bench, he looked fresh, he looked physical, and we saw the best and what we saw at the start of Rasmus Hojlund's career at Manchester United. I remember his debut against Arsenal. He came off the bench, should have won a penalty against Gabriel, but it was ruled out. But he also made the pass that was ruled out for Garnacho's offside, but it was literally like fingernails offside, if you remember that moment. But it was a great win, and I fully back Eric Ten Hag, but I do have to say I was definitely wrong about Amad Diallo. He looks like a true baller. He reminds me so much of Bernardo Silva, a low centre of gravity, quick feet, and can drop a shoulder and make you look like a complete mug. So I look forward to seeing his development, and he must start for the rest of the season. But anyway, as always, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, comment down below your thoughts on the games, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.